that darkness loses its power. Life begins to tune in with the calling. Everything comes in contact with life. Everything becomes alive. Maybe you are in conflicting situation. Your light is medicine. Don't hide it from the world. Hello, my dear intuitive leaders, and welcome from my heart to your heart. May the energy of universal love flow in overflow. I see this really golden light in the sign of infinity flowing from me to you and everywhere. So welcome to everybody that will be joining me live. Today's theme is in the presence of light, everything aligns. The path of awakening through higher awareness and working with light codes. Have you ever noticed how everything comes down in the presence of light? You probably have, right? So it's the way that darkness loses its power. It's natural, right? When the sun comes, there is no more darkness and there is light. And the same thing, the same process goes on within us, because light is not just a physical phenomenon. It's a state of consciousness, it's a frequency, it's information. It's literally bringing in greatest awareness and clarity about things. And this is the point. The brighter the light is, the more we see, right? And when we open up to the light, life begins to tune in with the calling of the soul, with the melody of the soul, and all that soul came here to do. And this is our purpose, basically. This is what I believe our purpose here is. And just as the sun, when it comes up, it does not force, but it only illuminates everything. So does the inner light work, because inner light basically solely illuminates what was before not seen, what was dark, or all the dark corners of ourselves. So, and it does that naturally, without force, but powerfully. It changes, it transforms, it convinces only by being, by shining through. And in the dark, one can lose. Let's imagine you are in the dark space. You can lose your orientation if you're truly not 100% grounded and focused. You can lose your orientation, but not because you're not good enough or because you're lacking something, but because without the light, you cannot clearly see the path, right? It's the law of nature. Just last week, we did an exercise in my program, Alchemy of the Mind, when we turn on the light of our heart's desire from darkness in which fear prevailed, fear of the unknown, where the sense of sight, of seeing, cannot help us because we are in the dark, and we are a lot of times relying on these physical senses and what we see, right? But in this moment, in space, in time, in the darkness, we turned up the light of our desire, and it was really powerful activation, because everything arises from darkness, from yet unknown, which can also be scary because the darkness, in the darkness, the seeds are actually formed, and these ideas are formed, and they need time in the darkness to gestate and to gain this, what they need to grow. They need to become strong in the darkness. And however it can be formed according to the calling of your soul, or it can be distorted by the fear. So it's up to you whether you turn on the light, or you give up to the darkness or fear. For example, when you are in the dark forest, you can stand in front of a beautiful trail, but you cannot see it. But when the light shines through the trees, not only you see the path, you see the trees, you see the flowers, you see the animals, everything comes in contact with life, everything becomes alive. So the ability to turn on the light, what I'm saying is the ability to turn on the light is within you. When you activate your inner sun, your inner light, you begin to align with the truth of your soul. And the light only reveals what is already there. It is not the creator of illusion, but it's a remover of illusion. Those veils of illusion dissolve in the presence of stronger light. Our fears, our shadows, our insecurities, they are not a problem in themselves. The problem is when we look at them from a fear-based standpoint and not from standpoint of higher awareness. And I use the phrase rising above problems many times. And it actually helps me when I have a problem and I use this phrase, raise above problems. I feel that the earthly energy, this energy of kundalini, or of being alive, or vitality, just comes flowing upwards through the roots, through my tree of life, and upwards. And I can raise above problems, because when we raise up and look at challenges from a higher perspective, the view is quite different. Wouldn't you agree? It's quite different that in which we might have even been drowning in our shadows. For example, let's say you are in a bad relationships. It can be business, it can be a romantic relationship, but you are blind to that, or you just put it under the rug a little bit. You feel it, but but you are blind to it because deep inside, maybe you are afraid to be alone, or afraid of looking for new relationships, or what others will say, or you are afraid of financial downfall. But when you turn up the light within you, you may become clearer on that. You may hear the message like, your worth is not tied to external validation, for example. And suddenly with that, the courage empowers you. The courage that wasn't there before. The courage to make a decision that is good for you and for everybody else. So what does that mean to be in the presence of light? You are in the state of now, and the state of now, just being in the now, is very important, because everything manifests from being in the state of now. Everything that you want to manifest in the future, or you gain clearer awareness, which is great. You do things with open heart, and being with open heart enhances the ability to receive. And also it illuminates willingness to clearly see what is opposite to the illusion. And it could be said that light is like a tuner of an instrument. So you tune the instrument like a guitar, let's say. It doesn't destroy anything. You think that the string will be destroyed, but it doesn't. It only brings things into greater harmony. So the light is like a tuner of an instrument. It only brings things into greater harmony. Also, when you turn on the light in the room, you don't complain about what you see. You just become more aware of what is not aligned to your soul or to your needs. So you only see whatever needs to be changed. And this is how the light awareness of light, or working with higher codes of higher frequencies of light works. Let's see some practical examples which you can use right now. So I'm inviting you to ask yourself, maybe every day, does my thought or a decision come from light or from fear? Is what I'm saying real, loving, and liberating? You will get the clear answers to these questions. And if you don't, just sit with it. Do this several days. Do this for 30 days in a row, for example. Or maybe you are in conflicting situation. And if you are, just imagine that just breathing this golden white light is bringing light to this situation. How I feel that is, I breathe in this golden white light and I send out to the situation from the heart this golden white light. Or if you are confused about a decision, sit in silence and invoke the light of clarity. So just sit and ask for the invocation of the light of clarity. And be aware that light doesn't always respond with words, although this morning I was connecting to Archangel Metatron and I was just writing, and great stuff came out. And this is what we will do this week in a meditation, which I'm inviting you to. So light does not always respond with words. Sometimes it replies only by calmness. And if you achieve calmness, you've done it all. So archangels, spirit guides, higher self, they all operate on the frequency of light. And when you enter into meditation, you actually raise your vibration, because that is how you can enter the presence of light. Just as maybe a radio receiver must tune into the right frequency to receive a signal, we must also raise our awareness so that light can work through us. Because I want to put those words directly into your heart chakra. Light is not distance. It is already here. Our being is created out of light. Our task is not to make you light. You are already this light frequency. But our task is simply to remove the veils that separate you from fully embodying it. Here are some questions to think about. And maybe meditate on that, or just sit with this for a moment of stillness. What corners of life do you want to illuminate? Which ones are asking for your attention? Where can you turn on the light today? Perhaps with one thought, one deed, one word. perhaps with silence. Because darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Just as hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. And Martin Luther King said that, actually. Because your light is medicine. Don't hide it from the world. In the presence of light, everything aligns and you remember who you truly are. When you work with the inner light and consciously connect with super angelic frequencies like archangels, you enter higher state of consciousness. These are not distant worlds, but deeper layers of yourself. So what is actually higher state of consciousness? How do you actually perceive it? How do you know you are in higher state of consciousness? This is a state where you no longer react from ego, which is most of the time fear-based, but from the present, from your empowered higher self. This is a state where time becomes expanded. This moment becomes infinite. This is a state when you feel oneness with all beings, where there is no separation, there's only flow. This is a state when answers come without a thought. They just come. They come through inner knowing, through inner knowledge. So the role of archangels. Archangels are, and angels and our higher self and other illuminated beings are like bridges between your current frequency and your soul's nature. They also, as a light, they do not come from the outside, but they awaken something that has been inside you all the time. Like Archangel Michael, if you call upon him, he will help you overcome fear, and by doing so you will enter into greater inner strength. Or Archangel Gabriel, he brings clarity, he brings messages, and when you feel the truth, it is easier to express the truth, and by this maybe your third eye begins to open, which Archangel Raphael is responsible for. Or Archangel Uriel, it brings you insight, and insight is the language of higher consciousness. Or Archangel Zadkiel teaches you forgiveness, and forgiveness is the one that will free your soul. So I'm warmly inviting you, 13th of June, 7 p.m. Central European Time. I will conduct guided meditation in the online Temple of Passionate Living. We will bring to the light and activate our light bodies and receive the codes of 10 archangels that will help us reach this higher state of consciousness, reactivate our 5-dimensional light bodies and divine blueprints within us. And this will support us in the areas of self-discovery, creativity, serenity, courage, and creation. So you are welcome to join us live, and if you cannot, don't worry, because there will be a recording available. And on the other hand, think of the light as spiritual elevator. When you enter it with pure intention, without fear, it just lifts you up to a higher floor without you having to do pretty much anything. You just have to let it carry you, because the light does not force, it solely invites you in, and you decide whether you will step into this elevator or not. And how do you actually know that you are in higher state of consciousness? Because first of all, you feel lighter, but at the same time you feel grounded. There's no need to prove yourself anymore. You can be what you are, and you feel good in what you are. And even if the challenges come, your reaction is more compassionate than reactive. You have access to internal insights without analyzing, so your intuition gets better. You feel that you are in touch with something bigger, and that you're supported by something bigger, and it's not this something bigger. It's not outside of yourself, but it flows through you. It empowers you. And when you are in contact of this light and archangelic frequencies, I will tell you, life becomes much easier and above all more optimistic. Also, you no longer hide from reality or feel bad or anything like that, everything that's below the vibration of love. But you can see with the eyes of the soul, and these eyes are much, much bigger than actually our physical sight. And that's the beginning of real positive transformation. So if that resonates, please comment below, ask questions. We will now do a little concentration, little meditation with archangelic light. We'll activate that light. And later I will be answering all of your questions. And let's start with this little guided visualization. We are calling above the light, we're calling upon light. We're calling the presence of archangels. And now close your eyes and focus only on your breathing. Excellent. And now imagine that the sun of pure white light shines above you. And now say with me, the presence of light, please guide me. Breathe in and breathe out. And call upon Archangel, who is now ready to speak to you the most. One of the archangels will come into your energy field, into your presence. Imagine your body and your energy space filling with its color, warmth, and message. Stay in that presence, stay in that feeling, not a thought, just a feeling. Allow this archangel to introduce to yourself with an image, with a word, or maybe you just feel peace overflowing. If you feel like it, you can start writing about your feelings, about the ideas, about the messages that you are receiving, and take some more time for this short visualization. And if not, just say thank you, I'm fixating, anchoring this result. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to conclude today with the words, higher consciousness is not a destination. It's a state that you can activate every day when you consciously connect to the light. And your life becomes much, much easier. And also, I will do one Atlantis card for the collective, for the message for now. And let me just check my phone. to see if there's anyone with me and if there are any questions coming in. Okay. I just started with these live Facebook lives. They will be on every week about the same time, so I will also be sometimes I will also be available for all of your questions, and I'm inviting you to join me live. And now let's conclude with, this is the card for this collective, for this group of intuitive leaders. We are further, much more developed than I thought this group is. So it's about telepathy. And the message is about pure communication. Notice how telepathically receptive you are. Your guidance is to clear your mind and become receptive to the messages of your guides and angels, as well as to the thoughts of other people. Someone is trying to transmit something important to you. You are also called on to project telepathic messages of hope, love, and inspiration to others. Clear your mind to transmit and receive messages. This is the task for you, the challenge, if you're ready to accept it. Just this morning, as I said, I was connecting to the Archangel Metatron, and he led me to to the earth that has already ascended, and there I was sitting by the ocean, and I was communicating and working with whales and dolphins, and received so many empowering messages. So either you do this by yourself, or you're warmly invited to join me live on this week's meditation, and if not, there will be recording available. I wish you a beautiful, enlightened week, and I will see you next week.